Hey, it's Abdullah and this is the Nokia 6310 or 6310. Now I know I'm pretty late unboxing this thing, however I think it's quite cool to just check it out to see how it looks and feels in the hand as well as discover what it can do. So let's start by unboxing it. So in the box you have the 6310 and I have here the green version. You can get this in black as well as yellow. A 2.75 watts charging brick, which charges through a micro USB port, a 1150 milliamps battery, which is obviously removable, your product quick guide, and some in-ear headsets which have a microphone as well to make phone calls and can be connected using a 3.5mm headphone jack. As you'd expect, the whole phone is made out of polycarbonate plastic and it definitely feels this way, and it's pretty lightweight. I actually really like the design of this thing. It looks pretty cool in a fun kind of way. The backplate is removable and you can see the opening slit at the back near the top. The end call button also acts as the power button, so let's power it on. Now, one of the nice things this has is accessibility mode, which you can immediately enter when you're setting up the device the first time. And what it does is basically make all the UI elements a bit larger, all the volume sounds a bit louder, and the side assistant key for an SOS call. And this is what it looks like. So as you can see, your menu is just one big icon, making it quite easy to read. And it reminds me of the really old school Nokia interface. I think the 3310 had something similar. So let's quickly walk through some of the basic specs. On the front you have a 2.8-inch QVGA display and a D-pad to navigate through the UI, and to be honest I like the D-pad on this phone as it's more comfortable than the other original devices that I've used. The T9 keypad offers comfortable spacing between all the keys and is nice and clicky. The right, left and top sides of the device are devoid of any ports. On the bottom you have the micro USB charging port and a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the back you have a 0.3 megapixel camera and a single LED flash which can be used as a torch. In terms of memory you get 8 megabytes of internal storage which can be expanded with a micro SD slot which supports up to 32 gigabytes of storage. And there's also 16 megabytes of RAM. In terms of raw power, the phone is utilizing the Unisoc 6531F, and because the operating system is S30 Plus, it's pretty lightweight and everything feels quite snappy and smooth. You won't have any issues with performance. Whatever you want to access opens almost instantly, so that's quite nice. And this is one of the things I like about S30 Plus even compared to KaiOS. Yes, it's not as advanced and doesn't have the same sort of app support, but it's pretty quick and just feels more snappy to use. The phone also comes with wired and even wireless FM radio, which is nice. Now, one of the weaknesses of the 6310 is that it doesn't support anything faster than 2G network speeds. So the phone doesn't support 3G or 4G. And because there are a lot of markets where 2G is actually being phased out, this is something that you do have to keep in mind if you want to use this phone globally. As for other connectivity, you get Bluetooth 5.0 and the phone also supports 2 SIM cards. And you'll notice that it even supports the older, bigger SIM cards if you still have some of those lying around. Other notable omissions are the lack of Wi-Fi or GPS functionality. So you might be wondering, what can you actually do on this phone? Let me walk you through the interface. Now, the main things you'll be doing on this phone is making phone calls and sending SMS messages. You also have a pretty basic web browser too. There's a music player on board and you can sideload all your music on your SD card. The phone has a dedicated photo gallery, camera app, a video player, a voice recorder, FM radio, wired or wireless, Facebook pre-installed, alarm clock, a calendar which enables you to add reminders as well, a pretty basic calculator application, a file manager so you can access all the files that you have on your SD card slot, some extra applications like readout, flashlight obviously, a unit conversion, a stopwatch, a timer. You can also play some basic games on it as well, and it comes preloaded with Snake, so that's nice. Otherwise, you can buy more games such as Airstrike, Cross Euro, Doodle Jump, Football Cup, Ludo Friends, Nitro Racing, Super Pet Twist, Tetris, and more. Let's play a quick game of Snake, just for old time's sake. To be honest, the game is still pretty fun, even after all those years. Although I think I still personally prefer Snake 2. And then, after you finish playing, you can check your high scores. You have a couple of different modes that you can play, like Classic, Box, Tunnel, Mill, Rails, Apartment. And you can make it more difficult if you want, which is something I'll definitely enjoy trying. So let's try a game on the fastest difficulty setting on Snake. This is more like my type of speed. Honestly, this is actually pretty addictive, so this is genuinely great. And it's getting really complicated now with this crazy speed. Oh, here you go. Game over. Not bad, right? It's really a lot of fun. This game is super addictive. In terms of where this sits in the Nokia lineup, it sits below the 8110 and the 2720 Flip. And as such, this phone costs around $50 US. Anyway, that's the 6310 for you. It's a pretty basic feature phone, not the most advanced feature phone that you can get, but I like the simplicity. There are obviously a lot of omissions here, so these are things that you definitely have to keep in mind. No Wi-Fi, no 3G or anything faster support. There aren't really a lot of applications that come pre-installed on this outside of Facebook and a couple of other games. There's no official app store to add more applications to this. So these are all things that you need to know before you buy this phone. If you need something that's pretty basic to escape from all the noise, to just make some phone calls, maybe play a game or two of Snake now and then, and something that would last you a very long time on a single charge without having any issues, and something that does just really the basics of what a phone can do, then this isn't really a bad option. I really like the way that they've designed it, even though it's not very feature-rich, but it's really affordable. And yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about this. If you have any questions about it, do feel free to ask in the comments down below. That's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like this video to support the channel and subscribe if you're enjoying my content. And I shall see you in the next one.